Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe or follow no matter where you're listening. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. Gentlemen, this is Creep.
This is like if Neil Breen did a found footage horror film.
Oh, no.
Shit, we found Neil. He's just in the forest.
Who am I? What am I?
Breen fuzz.
Like, am I going to have to be the one to defend this? Like, this wasn't my pick, but I think this is okay. I don't think Neil Breen movies are okay. This is at least serviceable.
Oh, come on. I mean, this movie's not bad. I think the idea deserves a little bit more talent. You know, the main guy in this movie, he tried very hard. Now I will give him that respect. But there's some panache in this movie that's kind of not there for me.
So what you're saying is he's a creep, he's a weirdo. What the hell is he doing here? He doesn't belong here.
There it is.
I think that he's got like the creep sinister undertone, but he's got zero charisma. But I also think that's
a good
part of
point.
the selling point. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to be cute, he's trying to be funny, and it always comes off as abrasive. Always.
Yeah, that's it. It is super abrasive because he kind of puts on that like childish charm, kinda.
Uh-huh.
And just for context, this is a man who's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and he hires a videographer just for a day. Gives the guy $1,000 to come to do a little documentary on him because, in the words of his own story, he has cancer, he has a baby on the way, and he just kind of wants to film something for the kid just in case the worst comes to it. A truly remarkable story. If it were true. Spoilers.
Yeah, let's put this in motion from the point of view of our protagonist here. This is Aaron, who is going to meet a man named Joseph up at Crestline, this beautiful mountain place. And he's just trying to make some money, man. He's just trying to make some money. By the way, this whole movie has exactly 2 people in it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Now that you mention it, I don't remember anybody else. Everybody who was spoken to was just over the phone.
Yeah, the third person credited on the IMDb page is a woman who is just the voice of Angela over the phone.
And this is a very efficient movie then.
It is.
I might take back some of the shit that I'm about to give it.
This is a very minimalist movie. 2 people. It is an hour and 17 minutes long. Very dense.
I think that they do an amazing job immediately setting the atmosphere. You're isolated. There's a fucking axe on the front porch. You're here for a job. The Craigslist thing said, Chandler, be discreet. And then there's a guy showing up, and the second you see him, the presence he gives you is just so devoid of anything. He seems hollow, and it's almost like, he's a bad actor. But you go, there's something wrong with him. And if I was Aaron, I would have been like, and deuces. But nope.
Yeah.
Aaron's like, I need to cash.
Well, it is a weird one, and like a lot of movies like this, of course it is, but there are a lot of moments in this movie, along with many horror movies, it's a trope, if you will, where you're just like, man, why doesn't he just walk away? And there's a very pivotal moment where like he has to decide whether or not to walk away, and that is ultimately the worst decision in the movie. But everything is a red flag. Every goddamned thing.
The fucking immediate forced hug. The immediate forced hug. Get out of your car. Give me a hug. This ain't going to be weird by the time we're done. Trust me.
Because this is going to be normal by the end of the day. Nah, man.
Nope. Well, do you guys remember how Yosef, shows up to every scene? It's a fucking jump scare. He just yells and he's there.
Yeah, his entrance is a jump scare every single time, including his introduction. He just jumps out of nowhere for no fucking reason. That's just who he is.
And boy, oh boy, does he have a fashion sense. All right, them fucking pants were like 3 sizes too small, and there's no need for that. All right, and 30 seconds of him walking up a staircase in the tightest Adidas tracksuit you've ever seen?
Oh, absolutely. He wants to show off every single stripe.
Are you offended by his gat?
Oh, shit.
Sounds like you're offended. But yeah, by the way, if we haven't mentioned it, this guy, the creep in question, played by Mark Duplass of The League. I know him from The League. I don't know if you guys know him from anything, but he is Like, I know him as, like, the straight actor, you know, in a show filled with, like, Jason Mantzoukas and Nick Kroll and all these other wacky characters. He's, like, the normal one.
I totally understand why he was either picked or, like, someone who was, like, maybe the writing partner for this movie because, you know, someone who works in a comedic series, I feel like they have, like, a really good understanding of how to bring just a casual oddness to them to the horror movies. You know, like Robin Williams knocked it out of the park in 24-hour photos, so on and so forth.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but not to take anything away from him, because like I do respect the effort given. But here in this movie, he's laying it on almost superficially thick. There, like as soon as he's on screen, you're just like, it's him. He's the creep. And the movie never, ever lets you deviate from that thought.
Yeah, it's almost like he wants to be creepy, like he's making the conscious decision to be creepy just to see how far he can get with it before his friend runs away.
He's like, okay, I'm going to freak this dude out. I'm going to get the tension, the fear built in him, and then he's going to run away. And then I'm going to stalk him, and then I'm going to kill him, and he's going to be scared. But Aaron's so good-hearted that he doesn't even get the red flag when immediately when they walk upstairs for filming of Tubby Time, that Joseph is standing there with his pants pulled down to his pubes and his cock root going, you want a sandwich or something? You see me?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be just walking around with your dick root out saying stuff like Tubby.
Yeah, as we alluded to, Joseph's whole story is he has cancer, he went to chemo, whatever, and now he's got brain cancer, and he's got 2 to 3 months to live. His wife is pregnant, so he's going to have a kid soon, and just in case he can't meet his kid, he wants to give him a video story of his life. So the first thing he does is get naked, drop trow, and he gets into a bathtub so that he can share Tubby Time just like he did with his dad.
Holy shit, y'all. Tubby Time is a fucking moment, all right? It's a fucking moment. We get to watch this guy mime bathing an imaginary child to the realest depths of his soul and pretend to drown himself. What the fuck?
Once more, the movie never gives you any inkling to think of anything else other than this guy is the creep. If it wasn't cemented already, this is the scene where you're just like, all is a bit odd, sir. We should go.
Yeah, he says he can't stop thinking about it. He's just thinking, what if I could just end it right now? Dips his head underwater, and then what do we get? Another jump scare, because that was a joke. There was a little bit too much tension. He just wanted to... It's a joke. Let's go get some fresh air.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah.
The joke is the joke, all right? Sure. And then they walk out of the room. Let's go get some air. We need to get some hats. What's the first hat they find? Holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, the true star of this film for the entirety of the maybe 4 minutes it gets in screen time is this Spencer Gift's Halloween werewolf mask that he has dubbed, or at least the persona that he becomes once he dons it. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Peach Fuzz.
You had mentioned earlier, maybe before the show or at the beginning, that a lot of this kind of feels like on the spot. And I feel like this entire mask subplot is just that. They picked it up for like $50-$60 at Spear Halloween. It's like, this is the MacGuffin. And it's like, sure, let's just figure it out.
They rented this house. Day of, they show up, and that mask is in the closet. They're just like, fuck it, we're using it.
Okay, headcanon. There's a scene a little bit later where he describes the true meaning of the mask. Now, the meaning we're given is that it was for his father, to try to teach him that even scary monsters could be kind and forgiving. But 100%, Eric, to your point, now that you said that, I think maybe you're right. They walked in, the mask was in there, like, holy fuck, what are these rich people up to? And they were like, you know what they're up to?
Weird shit.
Bestiality. His wife's into bestiality, and he fucking puts that mask on and he rapes her, and then they act like nothing happened. And then we get this whole fucking scene where they just talk about that. And that's in the movie, y'all.
Yep. This whole movie is a first draft. Like, they came up with all of this on the spot and we're like, fuck it, let's leave it in. This movie could have really benefited from a second draft, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think this is a movie to that point, actually to both points. It could have actually been written. I don't believe that this movie was fleshed out before they put it together. And this is, not to say that it reeks of awfulness because it was ad-libbed, but a lot of this movie definitely feels like, hey, I got this. Man jumps in front of camera, boom, you got Creep the movie.
Listen. The Blair Witch Project walked so that this movie could also walk. This movie's not doing any running, but like it's very much in that same tone of we're gonna keep it constantly creepy, we're gonna ad-lib, keep it natural as much as we can. And sometimes that works out, sometimes it comes off as unprofessional. I don't know.
Unprofessional is good. Either that or just downright corny.
Yeah.
Not even to mention the bit where he just like slaps the mask on, rubs his ass on the door, singing "Oh Captain, My Captain."
He's growling and grinding, baby.
Speaking of growling and grinding, oh Captain, my Captain, what I've got here today is Captain Save-A-Hop. It's juicy, it says. This is a 7.0% alcohol by volume hazy IPA from Full Circle Brewing Company out of Fresno, California. This smells like it's got a little bit of peach fuzz on it itself. Definitely juicy. You get a lot of those tropical flavors, mango. Maybe there is a little bit of peach in there. Who knows? A little bit of pineapple, some citrus. This is full-on hazy IPA. Very solid. No complaints at all.
I know who did have some complaints, and that's Aaron. Whenever fucking Joshua decides to take him on a trail run on the trail so dubbed Los Diablos Cazadores de Hombres, the trail that makes trophies of men.
Is that real?
No, that's from Predator. He has some name in Spanish that I didn't know, and I was like, man, I know the bit from Predator, so I'm going to use that.
Son of a bitch.
Anyway, so they're up there hiking on this trail up near, this is like Crestline, California, down near Lake Arrowhead. And at one point, old dude, the creep himself, just fucking runs away. Man, the vibes are not getting better.
Fuck, dude. Like, he literally runs into the forest. Who knows how long this hike was? We get all kinds of cuts, and they're just completely different locations. When we're at, like, the penultimate location before this, like, little magical area, whatever you want to call it, Ron is left by himself miles away from where they know where to start, and they're just like, man, I'm fucking lost as shit. What do we do? Another ignored red flag. Joseph is just like, I don't know, but this is a direction, and then just finds the fucking Holy Grail or whatever.
Yeah, he turns around and asks, hey, do you know how to get back? We've taken a lot of like forks in the road and stuff. We're kind of high up now. No, I don't, but that's back there, man. We got to move forward. There's only forward to go. We got to find this heart-shaped pool, which evidently the waters are healing waters. Some Mexican lady that sells tacos down by the lake, she told me about it. She makes great tacos, by the way. Real corn tortillas. But yeah, hopefully it heals up my cancer, because chemo didn't.
I enjoy the headcanon of this just old taco lady just telling this man to say, yeah, go find some heart-shaped pond. It'll heal your cancer, dude.
That's 100% canon. Real canon.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I looked it up, by the way. This is a real place. Like, of course it's a real place, but there's a hike to get to the heart-shaped pool and all that stuff. Like, it's, yeah, looked pretty nice.
I mean, I'll give it a little credit that this movie uses real places and tries to, like, make them seem otherworldly. Like, maybe he's right.
About what?
Okay, you said that maybe Aaron's the bad guy. And there's a scene where they get back to the house, you know, and it's nighttime, they've had their pancakes, and he's like, hey, man, I think I need to go home. And Joseph's going, yeah, okay, well, I guess. I'll see you later. It's like, well, I can't find my keys. You see my keys? And Joseph's trying to help him find the keys. They can't seem to find them. We have no, at the moment, inclination that Joseph has taken the keys. But Aaron fucking drugs him with Benadryl. Like, Aaron does that to him. That happens. And you're like, oh shit. Maybe Aaron's the bad guy.
No, nobody in this movie is a creep if fucking Joseph's not the creep. He's the only one who can be a creep. Not 1 second did I ever think Aaron might be the creep.
Aaron drugged him in self-defense to get the fuck away from him. And then
it was so obvious to me that Joseph hid his keys because he didn't want him to leave. He's just like, no, come up, we'll have a whiskey and then you can go, that'll be it. You know, that whole thing. Yeah. You can tell he's trying to, you know, keep him over, you know, for a nightcap. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the whole thing about, like, Aaron possibly being, like, antagonist is because That's what I wanted to see. But the movie was just like, no, man, Yosef's weird as fuck. He's the creep, you get it? And this whole time he's trying to find his keys and trying to figure out a way out. Though I do think him drugging Yosef was like fucking hilariously just like over the top, because I feel like maybe that should have happened later, just like a little bit once he finds stuff out. Maybe he should have got that phone call from his wife/sister. Don't worry about it. You know,
Okay,
and
yeah.
then he did something like that, because like at that moment it did seem very forward. Yes, this is weird. Yes, Yosef is totally the culprit that hid the keys, but that's exactly the kind of thing that Yosef would have done to Aaron, you know?
Yes.
Okay, let's mention one more thing before we start thinking maybe Aaron was the creep. Right before he loses his keys, wants to get out there, before he gets drugged, we get to hear the real story of Peach Fuzz. And if after listening to the real story of Peach Fuzz, you still have questions about who the creep might be, baby, I got questions.
Ooh, man, that was a bit of a rough story, because like even like, let's say Yosef was playing the character Yosef, like, you know, Yosef is the construct that Aaron's met. Even in that regard, it just makes zero sense, because how in the fucking world do you expect someone to keep it together after that? Like, hey man, you're a stranger that I met, that I'm trading money for goods and or services. I don't know you. I just R-worded my wife. Fist bump, right?
I heard it and was like, that is definitely how you fix your internet speeds.
How do you fix the internet from going slow? You gotta put on a wolf mask, break into your own house at night, and then have, and I quote, ravenous, animalistic sexual intercourse with your wife while she's tied up and she doesn't know that it's you.
Yeah, red flag.
That's what we're dealing with here, honestly.
It just seems like an atom bomb dropped on the movie that didn't necessarily need to happen. Because at that point, we're already conditioned to think that Yosef is weird. That really didn't need to push anything over the edge, because he was already trying to fucking drug him anyways.
That's a big step up right there. That goes from like, all right, this guy's a little bit weird, to this guy is like a sexual predator now. What word do you want to use? Sexual deviant? I think it goes beyond deviant, honestly. This is oof. It's after this that he gets drugged, and then we get a phone call while he's trying to like look through his jacket pocket while he's passed out there. He finds his phone and it rings while it's in his hand.
And who could it be? Could it be Joseph's wife? Could it be somebody from the hospital to let him know that his child was born and he has the opportunity to stop this nonsense and go visit his kid?
Nah.
Maybe it's his sister, and we don't actually know what's going on with their real relationship. She just tells him, you should leave. Get out now. Go out front. I'll pick you up or something. Just get out of there, man.
Stop it. Get some help.
The whole call is suspect, right? But by the name that Aaron knows her by, it turns out it's his sister, and she just dumps a whole lot of plot on it. It's like, yeah, he's weird, that he just makes shit up. But I love how calmly she tells him, and I hate how Aaron doesn't take the advice. It's just like, listen, man, this is heavy shit. Leave. You don't need a car. Just exit and walk away. And he's just like, you don't understand. He paid me $1,000 to be here. It's a little weird, but I gotta figure stuff out.
Man, if I take an Uber home, that's gonna be like half of that. I'm only making $500 today, man. Drove all the way up here. Right.
I think the way that she delivers the news is the smartest way. Hey, there's something fucking wrong with my brother, all right? I'm going to spare you the details. Because I don't want to freak you out, because if I freak you out, you're not going to fucking do things right. But you should get the fuck out of there right now. Don't worry about why. Just
Maybe she should have freaked him out. Maybe he would have fucking listened.
I guess so, but he was squirming pretty hard as it is. Like, his whispers were barely quiet, like at all. He was already pretty worked up.
Yeah.
That's odd, too, because, like, he spent literally the entire time up until now trying to figure out how to leave. And then he has more than enough information to just make a decent decision, and he still doesn't.
He couldn't. There was a fucking check in his boot.
Oh, just kidding. Oh, I had you there for a second. But what if there was, though? There could, because I got a lot of money. And if you hang out with me for 15 more minutes, maybe I'll give you some money.
The money, Buzz.
I thought you were going to say he couldn't leave because Peach Fuzz was blocking the door.
Yeah, so he gets off the phone. Homeboy is not where he left him. We find him blocking the door, fucking gyrating
Oh yeah.
and growling, and just... This is the creepiest scene of the whole movie, because you don't know what's going on. You know he's drugged, but you don't know exactly what's going through his mind. He is just... Are you gonna be the next Angela?
Yes. Yeah. Because, I mean, think about it. Underneath that mask, Peach Fuzz is down there gyrating like Elvis, and he's like, but I
Yeah.
drugged you. And he's like, boy, that's a drop in a big, big bucket.
Oh man. Yeah, he just starts with like, ooh, Peach Fuzz got tasted jam, start dancing up a storm.
It's time to commence the jiggling.
Peach Fuzz looked right at Aaron and just with every bit of intensity that he has, and he's just like, are we about to get jiggy with it? And then he gets knocked out.
I thought you were going to be like, Peach Fuzz looks at him with nothing but intensity. His right hand raises. His index finger extends. The gyrating stops for just a moment. A deep growl echoes from beneath the mask, and the words, tonight, you.
Then the red rocket starts coming out. We start seeing the tip of a chapstick.
It went from creep to hand banana. I don't like it.
Oh,
I put super glue in all my orifices so Joseph can't.
God, Carl. But this whole scene ends wildly abruptly. Like, we get a genuinely awful moment in a creepy sense, and it just hard cuts to Aaron just in his apartment, like, huh, that was fucking weird. You know? It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
but it's still not really kicking in that he should be way more alarmed than he is. He's watching this video he got sent in the mail of Joseph, like, carrying some garbage bags up a hill to dig a hole. At this point, he should not stay in that apartment 1 minute longer. Like, this is nothing but threatening. He should move.
Okay, so you regarded this DVD that wound up at his house as threatening. I, on the other hand, wholeheartedly expected him just to kind of like drag those bags up the hill, look straight to the camera, and just be like, hey, life's a garden. You gotta dig it.
Yes.
Even though I've only got 2 or 3 months to live, I still think recycling is... I don't know.
It's just a PSA now.
I enjoyed what I take away from this is whenever he goes to his house, he's like, I just want to forget about it. Literal line. I'm just going to forget about it. And he goes, but I've been having these dreams about misguided wolf love where I'm just a little baby in Joseph's arms. It's tubby time and he's wearing a fuzz mask and I'm his little baby sass.
Oh.
And we're in a heart-shaped hot tub.
It's just so creepy, but like in a completely different way, because we go from this guy who's definitely troubled, giving this guy a hard time, going to wind up murdering him, to like this guy, his victim, turning into a creep himself. But also he's, well, I can't say he's terribly stupid, but he did call the cops.
That call with the cops is one of the biggest examples of just straight up awful dialogue.
He just half-assed the whole thing.
It's so like, can you send someone over to take fingerprints or something? Like, it's, come on guys, like you need to lay it down better than that.
Nah, he almost asked for their manager.
But also it reminds me of that the scene from The Big Lebowski after he gets his car stolen and he's like, you got any leads or anything? And he's like, leads? Yeah, we got guys working in shifts. Ha ha ha. It's bruh.
Yeah.
Eric, you said that you thought he was going to call his manager, and I went, holy shit, he's a Aaron.
Oh.
It's mommy issues, right? Got it.
Yep.
That's all it is. He's not a creep. He's just a weirdo.
So where are we at now?
The next apology video.
Yeah.
The next apology video. Okay.
Yeah, he starts sneaking around the house too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of these. There's one where he like sneaks into his bedroom and you just see like the camera lift up, which honestly I think is a really cool effect. I think if it was in something like Paranormal Activity, it would be a great effect. Something where like you're just watching night over night over night, but then like the 5th night it lifts up, you would be like, oh shit, but here you're just kind of like expecting it.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I mentioned earlier, I feel like I stared at a wall for like 8 fucking minutes. It's just because some dipshit in the movie heard a bang somewhere that he didn't investigate quick enough.
He scurries outside, which, by the way, why would you ever go outside, especially as far away as you did, leaving your door wide open? What the
Yes.
fuck is wrong with you, Aaron? The fuck is wrong with you?
Get some help.
That's why he's Joseph's favorite.
Yeah.
And then he scurries around to the side of the building, or maybe his neighbor's building, it looks like, and it's just like, oh, the garbage is turned over. Those goddamn raccoons.
He goes around the corner and there's a box and he's like, oh, it's just a box.
Just a box.
I was actually kind of disappointed that it just wasn't Joseph with a raccoon mask.
Like, he buys it, like he believes it. He's like, oh, it's just a raccoon, but it's clearly just Joseph standing there in a cheap dollar store raccoon mask.
No, it's just a black mask across his eyes like the Repo Man, and he's just standing back there. Oh, just a raccoon.
He just looks like the fucking Hamburglar back there, gnawing on some frozen shit. For some reason, he just like goes outside all willy-nilly, leaving the door open, airing the place out, if you will. And after all this hubbub, he gets like more mail, and it's just this huge fucking package. And the first thing I think of, it clearly doesn't have a return address, so yeah, let's bring that shit inside. Totally not a bomb or nothing, dipshit.
Yeah, no return address. That's going to the curb.
No kidding.
In the words of the film Stone Cold, I brought you a package change, and he tosses him a package. He goes, what is that, a fucking letter bomb, man? And tosses it to somebody else to open that shit.
Man, it just absolutely baffles me at this point because, like, he gets a knife, he gets a little toy wolf, which is a reference to Peach Fuzz, of course, the man himself, and he gets another DVD. This DVD is the most ridiculously hammed up apology video I have ever seen.
Hey, I'm just going to throw out just a little bit of a headcanon here. Do you think Aaron might be into it? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
You think he's like, man, I'm not gay, but like I do love the attention, and if there's a chance I could make some money off this, like, I mean, maybe I'll let him knot me up just once. You know?
It's gotta be something. Maybe it's a movie that would work better today because it's like the economy's so shit. You know, like of course some dude just went in the middle of nowhere just for $1,000. He needs to fucking eat.
Man's gotta eat, Julian.
Just a straight man getting hookups on Grindr, just like, all right, man, let's do this. I need the cash.
You think he met him on Creeper?
Creeper. Oh, anyone out in the audience, you can't copyright that. We said that first.
He gets a second video, and it's like, hey, dude, I got no one and nothing, and I want to be real. I've been like this since I was a kid. I don't know why I do it. You're the first person to genuinely treat me like a decent fucking person, even though I've been doing weird shit to you, and I just want a chance to explain myself in person. If you meet me here at this public park at 11 a.m. when it's busy and there's people around, so you know you're safe, we can just hash it out. And I don't want to hang out with you after that or anything. I just want to get this off of my chest so we can have some closure, man.
Abso-fucking-not.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say he did take the opportunity to reach out to, you know, bury the hatchet.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a missed opportunity that wasn't a line in it because the whole time there's been Chekhov's axe.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you a question. That's all I want.
It's the movie wears itself on its sleeve and it's super weird. So yeah, Aaron goes to this almost nondescript location next to a lake, and he has like this lame ass plan, and it's just basically like, hey, I'm gonna record the meeting and have my phone on speed dial to 911. Nothing will happen to me then. And I mean, something happens to him.
I hate always bringing this up, but as someone who lives in LA and knows how far away this location is, I'm not driving all the way fucking back up there just to have closure with this guy. I'm moving.
Yeah.
And it ends exactly like how you think it would end. It shows Aaron sitting there. It shows Joseph walk up, don his superhero wolf mask, and fucking put an axe in his head. He then Five Nights at Freddy's the camera one final time, and we get, hey Aaron, thanks for being my favorite victim. Roll credits.
What the fuck ever. I have to put that out. It is the fucking worst shit I've ever seen. I'm sorry. It pissed me off to no end. Because, like, as we described, you know, he goes to this little bench next to the lake. He has his own camera on him to record the situation. Motherfucker didn't hear the faintest hint of hip to be square sneaking up behind him or anything. The dude was so nonchalant and, like, how do you not notice someone behind you? That thing. Like, of course, sure, he may have a good heart. Maybe he saw something in there that he could possibly help. But fuck, you can't be blind, deaf, and dumb and be some kind of videographer. It just doesn't work that way.
Straight up only works if you are a pinball wizard. If you are sitting on a bench next to a lake, not going to work for you. You're just going to get a splitting headache.
And man, the sound effect it made was just like Gallagher slapping a fucking watermelon. And I had to pause and just like have a little laugh to myself because I knew that was the big moment.
I honestly really liked the sound effect. I don't know if you liked it or hated it, but it was just like all at once, just a, and it's just like, huh, he fell funny, that kind of thing.
Dude, it's the thunk and the fact that the entire time you can hear a leaf blower in the distance.
Oh yeah, I actually watched with subtitles because it's kind of hard to hear sometimes, and it was just like distant chainsaw noises or some garbage like that. I was like, what's about to happen?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw it with subtitles too, and I was like, chainsaw? I don't remember that.
I thought it was just going to be like an American Psycho moment, but I guess they chose another part of the movie and totally thought Jared Leto was hanging out in the park.
Man.
He just wanted to destroy something beautiful there.
Which one of these two characters would you prefer Jared Leto to play?
I feel like if he had the opportunity, he would do all of them.
Can we get Jared Leto in both roles?
Ooh, like one in the fat suit?
From Dallas Buyers Club or whatever.
Or I was thinking adaptation. Is that Nick Cage? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, once all is said and done, we get like a little bit of like in the mind of the killer kind of thing. We go back to Yosef's humble abode. We don't even know if it's Yosef, and he just has this secretary full of just like videotapes and DVDs of all his victims. At this point, the movie's definitely just like, hey, remember? He's a creep. Wink. And I'm just like, all right. This movie ended at exactly hour 15.
Yeah, this is not his first, second, nor is it his third rodeo. He's been here before. He will be here again.
Oh, fuck. Actually, with all his victims kind of like inferred, I kind of 100% absolutely need this guy to be Shia LaBeouf.
Out of the corner of your eye, you spot him.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf?
That's what I hear.
It's fucking weird. This whole movie is just fucking weird, and I give it credit at being great at the creeper vibe. Is it laughable at moments? Yes, but so is real life. I have met people this out of touch with shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is obvious a red flag, but I'm going to stay here. I'm going to keep doing it. This movie got a sequel. So for what it is, I think it was, I won't say, it's not in my top 10 or anything like that. I'm not going to go fucking watch this on a weekend or nothing. It was decent for what it was, which is just fucking weird.
I would put this at, I wouldn't watch this again, not because it's bad or it offended me, just because it's just kind of whatever. The strength of this movie really relies in the overall idea. The execution, though I respect it, it's a little too loose to be on the table. It needs to be tightened up. The talent on screen, I feel like even though the gentleman in question, Joseph, he's giving it his all. He's really, really putting himself out there. It definitely needs the charm of like James McAvoy. This screams of like Split or something like that. You need that.
Ooh.
You need that moment of is he, isn't he? And the movie never gives you that. And there is no deviation from that in the very short runtime that it has.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. My big negative takeaway is that this needed a second go in the writing. The dialogue is a little bit weak. It feels a little bit contrived, a little bit like made up on the go. If we just sat down with this script and maybe threw in a couple more scenes, this could be a solid horror film. I don't even necessarily care that there wasn't is it him or is it not? Is this straight? Is this... I don't care. I'm in for a horror flick that's an hour 17. Make this an hour 30. Give it a little bit more oomph, and we're good. Otherwise, it's all right.
Well, there you have it. That was Creep. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in that comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Just hit all of the buttons that you have so you don't ever miss what we have brewing up next.
You can find us anywhere podcasts are available. Heck, we're even on the YouTubes, all right? Give us a shot. We're kind of funny sometimes, and if you play your cards right, we'll go to Spencer's during Halloween and we'll buy a fucking super sexy wolf mask, and we'll bump and grind for you. Just for a
I don't
minute.
see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Roadhouse.